Good evening. At this time, I would like to invite Kiana Newton up so you can lead us with the pledge. She was selected by our faculty CTE Student of the Year. She'll be recognized tomorrow also, but at this time, Kiana.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good evening, and thank you for coming, everyone. And students outside in the lobby are asking me how long is this going to be tonight? Because I know they're quite busy, as we all know. I'm going to try and keep it to an hour. Good? All right, see how I do. But again, good evening, and welcome to the Hugh Gallen CTE Centers. This is actually our 10th annual program where we celebrate completers. Tonight we have the opportunity to acknowledge the dedication, diligence, and persistence of 51 completers sitting with us this evening. A completer is a student who has successfully completed a standardized set of competencies which are aligned to industry standards. In fact, approximately every 5 years or so, CTE teachers around the state, representatives from industry and higher education revisit these program competencies to ensure that they are challenging and relevant to really what is going on in industry today. For the past 2 years, all of these deserving students have committed themselves to a career pathway and have successfully completed a CTE 2-year course of study. Students enrolled in career and technical programs are engaged in a challenging and demanding curriculum. Career and technical programs provide our students with the theory and practical application through the use of state-of-the-art equipment and technologies. And we're very fortunate here with our most recent renovation and the purchase of really state-of-the-art equipment here. We're quite fortunate. Our students often achieve third-party credentials, which are recognized throughout the respected industry. In addition, many of our students earn college credits enrolled in our programs. Our students leave programs at Hugh Gallen with the knowledge and skills necessary to be competitive in the job market and to continue their education. Here at the Hugh Gallen Center, we want the careers associated with our programs to be in high demand. We want our students to be highly skilled, and we want our students to earn a high wage. Some of the students before us this evening will transition directly into the workforce, but the majority of these students will not end their educational careers when they graduate from high school. Our students will continue to challenge themselves in 2- and 4-year programs, some locally in our community college system, but many in other colleges and universities around the country. So just really a message for you students. Students, as you know, I like to visit your classrooms often. I don't really like to although I do spend a lot of time in my office doing whatever, but I like to be out and visiting programs. I like to see what's going on, and I like to get to know each and every one of you. As a group, you are extremely diverse. You're diverse in your backgrounds, your interests, and your aspirations. You represent numerous communities here in the North Country, and you represent 6 high schools. You come together here, and you really do share some common characteristics that I like to mention. And really, I applaud you because you really have it together, really much more than I did when I was a senior in high school. You have a really strong sense of who you are. You have chosen the career path, at least in a general sense. You are committed and persistent. You have made numerous sacrifices along the way, whether it was getting up early to catch a bus at 20 below zero, numerous schedule changes you've had to make, and your ability, and I really don't know how you do it, but you have the ability to balance school, work, sports, and everything else that you do. You have demonstrated diligence in the classroom and the learning that has occurred outside of these walls. You are extremely respectful and you are respected. You are responsible and mature. You consistently represent yourselves in a professional manner in the classroom and the lab setting. Most of all, I really enjoy observing you transform into young adults through especially your internships and your clinical experiences. These are real-life experiences. You're really on the job. You have adult expectations, and each of you have risen to the occasion. Congratulations to all of you, and I wish you all continued success. Thank you. So as you notice, you'll see some photos that we have taken over the year. So when an instructor comes up to represent their program, their photos may not necessarily be on the screen, so don't confuse that. So first, I'd like to introduce Mr. Dan Brodeen, representing Automotive Technologies.
Henry Ford once said, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right." And 540 class hours ago, 12 of you stepped in my classroom and we talked about whether we should use a 6-point wrench or a 12-point wrench and why there was 15 degrees angle on a wrench. And some of those early lessons maybe didn't really seem that important until maybe today, when you were pulling a turbocharger out of the top end of a Power Stroke and you had to have that 15-degree angle. We did some simple things in the beginning, like learning how to use lifts, how to cut things without hurting ourselves, how to be safe, how to do tires, and how to do wheel weights. And some of you now have moved on to, you're doing an intake manifold in a VR6 Volkswagen. You're doing timing chains on Audis. Some of you have pulled out a 5.9 Cummins turbo diesel just because it had an oil leak, and it's hopefully here in the next 2 weeks it'll be fully all together, but it's back in there. You all should be proud of yourselves. I've challenged you. I've probably challenged you more this year than I have a lot of other classes, and you've risen to that challenge, and for that I applaud you. Now, Miss Antonucci's not here to rush me along this year, so I've got a couple young men who are completing this program in their 11th grade, and next year they will be going on. We have planned for them internships that involve live work experience in local shops, and they'll be starting that next year. And we're going to start that with Miles Hodge. You need a cord. Dylan Odell. Corey Profido. Now for auto technology, there are 12 completers this year, and minus the 3 young men who are finishing as juniors, I believe the 9 are all going on to careers in the automotive field. And all of them in different facets of that. I have one young man who actually is going on to Keene State College for occupational studies, and he's going to deal with safety and insurance issues in shops and industrial situations like that. So just another avenue you can go to from auto technology. Griffin Rompery. Well, I got a certificate for you here somewhere. That's the important part of the handshake.
Oh yeah, that's what gets them.
The next group of young men, they're going to travel out to Ohio. They're going to the University of Northwestern Ohio for automotive technology. It takes a lot to pack up from home and go to a big school like that. And these young men are fine technicians, and they're fine problem solvers, and they're fine troubleshooters. And it's been a pleasure to have them in this classroom for the last 2 years. Start with Ben Waldo. Now, Ben comes up every morning from Lincoln to hang out with us. And there have been some interesting mornings through Franconia Notch, but Taryn Fontaine. Now, interestingly enough, Taryn is the 4th of 4 boys, and he's the 3rd to attend UNOH for automotive technology? 2nd. I'll have to call home and shake the tree with the other one. Brendan Clark. The next young man is going on to heavy equipment school. He's going to learn to run excavators and bulldozers and all those fancy high-powered machines. Nate Arsenal. This young man travels down from Groveton every morning for the last 2 years. He is now a technician at Aaron's Automotive in Whitefield, and Aaron is very happy to have him and said he's very skilled, and that will potentially carry on to be a pretty good job for this young man. He also is going on to Berlin Technical College, White Mountain Community College, and we just put in for scholarship for his toolbox up there, so hopefully that'll come free of charge. Nice, nothing like free tools. So, Mr. Chris Gay. Now we saved one for last. Interesting relationship with this young man over the last 2 years. And through our ups and downs, he may not realize it, but he's made me very proud. He has been internshipping at Crosstown Motors, and actually he was offered a job straight out of high school for Crosstown Motors. He is also going to, I just handed him the application for Manchester Community College for the Chrysler CAP program, which was, he's actually sponsored at the Chrysler program by Kevin Roy from Crosstown Motors and myself. And we also put in for a scholarship for him for his toolbox to be covered by New Hampshire Auto Dealers Association. And that is Tyler Pokenis. In closing, Enzo Ferrari said, "Aerodynamics are for people who can't build engines."
Next, we have Mr. Chad Fillion, representing Broadcast Technology, doing double duty here this evening.
Mr. Dan Brodeen once said, thanks for coming tonight. One of the greatest things for a teacher is when you can send your students out on an assignment or a job, and they follow to the letter everything that you've asked them to do. It's really a cool opportunity when you're not even in the building, and a job that usually takes 4, maybe 5 people between the cameras, switcher, talent on screen, editing, posting, putting up live on onto the website. When it's done by 2 people, that's pretty intense when you see it actually pop up on the screen and be like, wow, they did that, just the 2 of them. And they had fun doing it too. So this year I actually have 2 completers, and both of them have taken the opportunity to be the best that they can and really embody what CTE is about. They travel from Lisbon every morning on the bus, and they join us here. And there's never a day that they're not ready to do what they need. They come in, they're prepared, whether it's writing scripts, working on music, working at home on music for the actual assignments, doing the video editing, taking care of what's needed, traveling to Lancaster on a Saturday morning to film a Pinewood Derby, to take part in community outreach, traveling to Polly's Pancakes Parlor to actually do an interview with Chris Cote and put it up onto Channel 2. It's really a great process to watch a student go from where they are when you join them. I started halfway through the year last year, and very, very nervous about their abilities to work with the equipment and to be able to sit in the chair of power and run the helm of the station, and see them work right through the process to doing green screening on the fly and putting up weather images and switching between the different camera angles and taking care of it all on their own. I'm going to be really sad to see both of these move on, but very pleased and proud of them as they further on. They both are accepted to 2 colleges, and they'll be heading out into the great unknown this fall. So first I want to bring up, drum roll please, Miss Maria Palazzi. And Miss Michaela Woods. Thank you.
To represent the number of business programs we have, Mrs. Lori Spencer.
Good evening. It's always daunting. I'm actually giving completer cords to 2 different programs. I have the straight business program, and then I also have the accounting program. What I want to say about the business program is my year 2 students, I have just 4, but they're great, they're strong. We've done a lot of really interesting things, but the most exciting thing is we have a partnership now through the Chamber of Commerce, and we're in the process of doing 3 windows on Main Street, but 1 store is done. Go look at it. It's Emma and Company, and 2 of my completers who are here tonight, they've done that. The music store, Northern Lights Music, that window will be done sometime before next Friday because they're all done school next Friday. And the other window is GM Photo and Photography, and that will be done a week from today by this time. So pick the time to look because I think they enjoyed doing it. It was an interesting project because in business, we're kind of locked into the classroom sometimes. So it's nice to have a real opportunity to get out and work with the businesses and partner with them. It's been good for the kids. I'll talk about accounting in a minute. So let's see. All right, I want to bring up my accounting I want to bring up the business students. I want to do those guys first. Sorry. Haley Dumont. Haley and her partner are responsible for Emma and Company. Second, Katie Stockley. And then, unfortunately, Gage Pequeño's not here, and I'm going to give him a hard time because a year ago Christmas, we worked here at Littleton. We worked Monday and Tuesday, but Lisbon did not. He came to school those 2 mornings. He drove up here, but he didn't come tonight. So I should bring donuts or something for everybody but Gage tomorrow. And from right here, oh my gosh, sorry, Elaine Hastings. And Eleni and Gwen Hitchcock are doing GM Photo and Photography, and they have a great plan. It's going to look really nice, so look forward to seeing that. Okay, the other program I have is accounting, and accounting is a 2-year program, but if you're interested in taking accounting 2, typically you have to take it as an independent study. And 1 student is not here, but I would like to recognize the student. You have to commit to it. You have to come in, work on your own, and try to grab me for time because I have other classes going on when they're in my classroom. So, Theo Augustine. Thank you.
Next, we'll have Mr. Anderson please come forward to present computer technologies.
Yeah. Good evening. Computer technology and computer certificates are given to students who have completed 2 years within the program. And when you sign up for this program, you're also given the opportunity to join Project Running Start. By taking my class, you can get 4 college credits, and you're crazy not to do it. Save every one of your kids money. Okay, students must be proficient in hardware and software diagnostics for desktop and laptop computers, OS installations, hardware replacement, troubleshooting of computer viruses, malware, network management, design, troubleshooting for routers and switches configurations, and have effective soft skills for communications. All these skills help them excel in college as well as in the workforce. Many of my former students have landed jobs in the local community at business such as Amadus Computers, EHV, Littleton Regional Hospital, and now Dartmouth Hitchcock Hospital. I just wrote a letter of recommendation for a young man, and he landed a job at Dartmouth Hitchcock, joining their IT team. He now services 10,000 users. Let that sink in. Also have a couple of students that are working up at our new business up in the industrial park at Secure Network Services and doing very well. It's not an easy course. It's a long haul. And this year was a test run for some new curriculum, and I heard a little bit of complaining, but we struggled on through it, and the kids did very well. This year I have 4 completers. First one, Brandon Blowy. I didn't see him coming from Lisbon. Holland Cho. Thomas Stagnon. Troy Morrow. And lastly, oh yes, Eric Schaefer.
Mr. Pinard, representing Construction Technologies.
Evening. This should be fairly quick. This year, we took on a bunch of really difficult projects for the community. And it's kind of hard because normally when we have classes through the day, it's nice that you can have second-year students with first-year students to help them understand how to use the tools and safety and everything that goes along with their day. This year, I don't have a completer. I didn't have any second-year students. I had 19 first-year students. So that was a little bit of a challenge this year as far as the projects we took on. If you look at some of the photos that we have this year, the big project we did was the 2-story building on top of Mount Eustis. We built it in our shop downstairs, disassembled it, took it back up in a day and reassembled it up there. So the community really came together with us on the project. It is actually licensed, it's all set to go. We just didn't have the snow for the year to operate it. So it's all up and running. Along with that, we did a very high-end chicken coop for some people in St. Johnsbury area. It was only a couple $1,000s for a chicken coop, but they like it. And the students, the second half of the school year, built a really nice 14 by 10 shed for a family. And the project we're finishing up right now is it's a playhouse. It's a post and beam playhouse. It's 17 by 15. It's 22 feet to the ridge, so it kind of looks like a tree house. And it's all post and beam, so that's coming along just nicely. But like I said earlier, it was all with first-year students. It's going to be really nice for next year to have all these students come back. I have 11 of them coming back next year. So for their knowledge, going into next year, we should be able to take on some bigger projects and get through them a little bit easier. Thank you.
So at this time, could I have Mrs. Dana O'Hara and Bill Demers please come forward to present Health Science Technology.
All right, so we're on a time limit here. have a number on. All right, hey, welcome everyone. Thanks for coming. I know you all have a busy schedule, that's for sure, especially this time of year, but I can't tell you how much it means for your kids to be here tonight to show that you really respect what they've done for the past 2 years. You can see in their eyes that they've got a sense of pride, that they've committed 2 years and they've done something, and here they are. They're going to prove that they can go out into the workforce and they can do what we're worried about, which is what they can do, what we as parents are all worried about. Are they going to be able to make it? And yeah, they are. There's no doubt about that. We're here tonight to honor them, all these wonderful students. Even if you choose not to move on into healthcare, I can tell that this group of students who has completed the health science program has learned what it means to be there for someone who is in need. And, you know, even if they don't do great academically, which they all will, I'm sure, I consider that one of the greatest gifts that we could have given them, and I hope they appreciate that we've opened up that door for them and they carry that on throughout the rest of their life. This group that I had this year, they did a great job melding together. We had a lot of fun. There's no doubt about that. You can tell from some of the pictures. I'm sorry if they gross you out. There were disagreements, just like any workplace setting, but they understood what it was that they needed to do. And they composed themselves. They kept their drama out of the picture. They knew that wasn't really going to be something that was going to help the patient at the end of the day. And they ended up exhibiting absolute professionalism by the end. They had it figured out. We should really be proud of them for that. They showed up ready to learn, ready to work. And as employers out there, you know that you have a tough time getting employees who show up ready to work. Well, this group did. You should be proud of them for that. I definitely drive them hard on that level. They'll all attest to that. And they did a great job. I'm super proud of them. They showed a side of themselves that you guys, as parents and community members, only dream of seeing. They showed compassion. They showed empathy, caring, cooperation, genuine desire to learn. This group this year, they shined with work ethic. Not everybody's able to figure that out, but they did. They worked hard. They performed the tasks they needed to the best of their ability, and they arrived early, ready to take care of the patients. They performed quality care while doing this, and they did so with a dramatic improvement of their time management skills. So they should be proud of themselves, because I can tell you for a fact that I'm very proud of my group this year. I loved my group this year. They had a great time. You want to say something?
As am I.
So on that note, we're going to pass out our cords and completion certificates. I'm going to move this along because we have a large group and a timeline to get through. I've been told by the students. There it is. I got it. Yeah, we'll start with John Benoit. Daniel Brammer. Give me a cord. You earned it. Callan Brown. Dakota Carroll. This one here, Samantha, oh, wait a minute, Juliana Dami. Thank you. Samantha Daniels. Samantha Donovan. Ethan Ellenwood. Tristan Anderson. Mariah Fryman. Is Jordan here tonight? No? Oh, that's too bad. I picked on Jordan a lot this year. I was kind of hoping she was here tonight. Anyways, Jordan Galley. She came all the way down from Groveton all year long for the past 2 years. She did a great job, and she tolerated me for the year. She really deserves a round of applause. All right. Faith Hartshorn. Sworn. 2 years, I still say her last name wrong. I know, it's just terrible. Allison Horn. Jacqueline Howard. Jakob Kubkowski. Did I get Kuba's name right? I don't know. Kayla Alaro. Is she here, KK? Oh, well, congratulations. And is Faith McBean here? Yes, Faith. Macy Millette here? No? Oh, okay. Kiana Newton. Corinne Newton. Madison Packard. Is Brett Roberts here tonight? No. Michael Rodriguez. Yeah. Brooklyn Webster. As well as Megan Wright. Is that correct?
Teacher Education, Mrs. Judy Belanger.
Good evening. I'm standing on my tippy toes again. This year, Teacher Education has one completer, Katie Johnson. Katie completed all of the competencies with a focus on early childhood. The Teacher Education program has such a large range. I break them up into different focuses, one being early childhood, the other being elementary education, and the third being middle and high school. Because teacher education is multiple levels from early childhood right up through even teaching college or becoming an administrator if you want to. She also elected to take the course as a Running Start course, so she received 3 credits in Foundations of Early Childhood Education, which she can take with her to the community college where she's going to major in elementary education, early childhood education. She presented, I did something new this year that I've never done before, which worked out extremely well. Katie put together an electronic portfolio that she presented to my advisory board earlier this evening, at which time she did an excellent job explaining how she completed all the competencies through her work in our class. So, congratulations.
Next on the agenda, we're very fortunate to be able to present some health science scholarships. And they're presented this evening because they may or may not go to Littleton students. They may go to students from other districts, so we do them this evening. So at this time, I'd like to invite Mr. Demers back up again, please. And Linda Gilmore from the hospital, please. Karen Superchi. And Carlene Whitcomb.
So we're really fortunate here that we have such a strong tie with our healthcare workforce and the employers in the area who provide that health care. And one of the benefits of that is the support from these organizations. So we have 2 scholarships tonight from Littleton Regional Hospital. One is for academic excellence and the other is for clinical excellence. And then we have a 3rd scholarship from Morrison Nursing Home. And unfortunately, they couldn't be here tonight, but I would just like to say a couple words about who that award's going to, and I'll present it to them when I see them again. Before I do, I'd like to recognize the clinical sites. I'd like to take a moment to thank them for allowing our students to come and learn at their facilities. It's a really wonderful thing that they do for our students, especially today, in this day and age. I don't know how many of you realize, but it's very difficult to find clinical sites for people to practice at. That includes at the college level as well for any of the fields, not just nursing. in the medical field as well, and we are very, very fortunate that they open up their doors for us, and they allow our students to come in and to work with their organization to become successful at what they do. So I'd just like to publicly thank them very much for that. Okay. All right, so I'm proud to announce that our Health Science Technology Academic Award for Excellence goes to a student today who clearly earned it while enrolled in our program. She's maintained an A average throughout her 2 years in the program and has finished the program with a 100 average. She has demonstrated a high level of professionalism while working in the clinic on projects, and she's worked independently and motivated others with her very reliable work. She's consistently maintained a high level of medical ethics by working and focusing on developing her healthcare skills and keeping her focus on the objectives at hand. She has been an active participant in HOSA and has consistently demonstrated strong leadership skills throughout the year. Please help me to recognize the academic excellence of Samantha Daniels. Trooper. And then the next scholarship that we'll be awarding through Littleton Hospital is the Health Science Technology Award for Clinical Excellence. And this student has also maintained an A throughout my program, and she's demonstrated a high level of professionalism while working in the clinical setting, accomplishing heavy workloads while keeping the morale of the team up, all the while providing excellent care to the patients that she had under her wing. She's always been reliable in her work. She's consistently maintained a high level of medical ethics, working in difficult situations, maintaining her composure and keeping her focus once again on the objectives while never losing sight of the people that she cared for. Please help me to recognize the clinical excellence of Callan Brown. Thank you, guys. And then just one more. The Morrison Assisted Living Facility Scholarship goes to a deserving student from the Lancaster-Whitefield region who intends to pursue a career in the healthcare field. And this year's recipient did indeed earn it. I'll keep it short. He is going to remain in our community, and he's going to continue to do great things. I would like to recognize the excellence of Brett Roberts. Thank you.
So with closing remarks, earlier I did mention that we're going to keep this to an hour, so I have about 10 minutes. Really? But seriously, you heard Mr. Demers mention it, and I just want to mention how fortunate we are really in the North Country with our partnerships. You can name the industry, and we're very, very fortunate. I talk to my colleagues, if you will, around the state who may represent much larger CTC centers, and they always ask, how do we do it here? And I think it's because that this is the way we do business in the North Country. Whenever we reach out to industry or a clinical setting, people receive our students with open arms, and it gives our students a quality education that you may not be able to have in a larger setting. So I want to thank all of our partners because they really make it real for our students. I want to thank all of our students. 2 years. It's gone pretty quickly, right? Your parents all attest. It's hard to believe now that you're seniors and you're moving on. All of us in this room are extremely proud of you. You've accomplished some really great things. And I know you're going to continue, you're going to go on, you're going to accomplish many more experience, exciting ventures. You're going to learn a great deal. You're going to be very successful. Hopefully some of you return to the North Country and decide to live here, and because we could really use your expertise in some areas. Just lastly, I want to thank all of you for being here this evening. I want to thank the school board and other administrators, all of our teaching faculty staff to make this happen. We have a few refreshments in the evening, but again, thank you, and enjoy the rest of your evening, and enjoy the festivities over the next 2 or so weeks. Thank you for coming.